Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! Today it's going to be a match between Sharp and Stork here on Tripod. Top left side, it is the red Terran player Sharp. Right side, at about the 3 o'clock position here, is the orange Protoss player Stork. So Sharp versus Stork, action and Rainer watching. I'm not entirely sure why these replays have people watching them, but I don't know. Maybe they're referees or something for a tournament. Got this from RJB. So again, subscribe to RJB. Check him out because he supplies me with very excellent replays, and the least I can do is direct viewers back to him. RJB TV. He likes Fastest Map a lot. He knows a lot about the game. And let's go ahead and get right into it here. It's a 3-player map, so cannon rushing is not an option, I don't think, unless you get lucky with the scout. And same thing for proxy racks. So I think we're just going to go ahead and see production facilities coming up in the main base of each of these players. We've got eggs here just constricting the ramp as well. I think the last time I cast on this map was, I want to say, Mini versus Queen. I want to say that's what it was. It was pretty nuts game. Pretty nuts PVZ. I'm interested to see what a PVT looks like, though. There were some high ground areas that Hydralisks could take, and I'm wondering if you put tanks up there, if, like, the Protoss just dies. Because Hydras are good, but, man, you get tanks up on those high ground spots right here. And there's another one over here, too, which we'll find a little bit later, I guess. But anyway, Probe does actually scout the right direction and does figure out where we are. Is this not a 3-player map? I'm just realizing all of a sudden. Hold on. It's called Tripod. Yeah, okay. You can spawn down here, and it's got the same setup. Yeah, so it's a 3-player map. You just scouted the correct direction. Got lucky. Maybe the cannon rush would have worked after all, but that's not what we're up to today whatsoever. Zealot in production, which indicates we're going to send that Zealot across and actually try to get some damage done. Try to put some pressure on at the very least while expanding back home. Stork is one of the better Protoss players in the world. I love Stork very much. Sharp is an excellent Terran player too, and we'll see how this works out. I mean, do you need me to tell you the recipe at this point? How do you beat a Terran player as Protoss? Right? You attack them constantly. You kill tanks at the expense of Dragoons. Yes. The reason you can do this is because you're expanding a lot faster than the Terran is, and this is a really good start from Stork. Those are the pieces. If you don't do those things, then the Terran's going to show up at your house with 35 tanks, and you're going to die. You can go for carriers if you want, and that just changes the game to a carrier versus Goliath setup with maybe some siege tanks in the mix too. We did see, oh, that was an incredible PVT, wasn't it? Ah, man, my brain is not what it used to be. I can't remember either of the players that were involved there, but it was some incredible recall play out of the Protoss in situations that, I mean, completely swung the game. So, in general, as the Zealot shows up and tries to get some damage done, in general, I don't know, the recalls are amazing, but by golly, they can definitely win games from time to time. You don't have to go for that carrier setup. You can definitely win games on the ground against elite Terran players if you're Protoss. That is possible, I promise. I promise you it is. I'm kind of surprised we're making Marines at all, but I guess the issue is this Zealot was showing up, and you had to take him down. So at least one Marine died. I'm not sure that the Zealot paid for himself necessarily. Now that there are Vultures out, that further harass is not really going to work out that well. Honestly, Vulture could probably show up here and kill the Zealot, and that would be really a big-time problem. But a Dragoon is on the way, and that will help against Vultures. For sure. I think this back door is open. Like, I'm pretty darn sure you can just wander in. Yeah, if you take a long way around, you can get in here with a Vulture. And, there we go. We're taking the long way around, everybody. So here he comes, and gonna get a probe kill. The probe's gonna be like, alright, there's a Vulture on its way, everyone. So maybe, I don't know, what do you want to do here? Probably send the Dragoon to cover the natural base would be my guess. And that's exactly what's happening. Natural base coming up now for Sharp, way after the Protoss is taking his, but again, that's how this works. You gotta play the Zerg. If you're Protoss versus Terran, you gotta out-expand them, you gotta outspend them, because they are gonna be more cost-efficient than you are. I know it's weird. I know in PvP it's not necessarily the case, and in PvZ it's not the case, but in PvT it is. It's like 8 shots to kill An SCV. It's a lot of shots to kill an SCV. SCVs make great scouters. But gets a perfect scout. I mean, honestly, sees the double gate, sees the robot facility coming up here, does end up dead, but I mean, every piece of what is happening here in Protosville has happened. Vulture, spider mines before speed, and running away from it actually kept that Dragoon alive. Nice micro out of Stork. That was pretty hot. Now, what you don't want to do is bring somebody down here and drag the spider mine into these workers and kill them all. Alright, so Zealot sacrifices some of his shields and a little bit of his HP for that spider mine. Fair trade. Gotta say, Natural Base finally finishing up here for Sharp. And he's just factoring it up right now. I mean, we're working on speed. There's another factory coming in. And so far, spider mine laying has begun. No speed on these vultures, but doesn't really matter. Nothing can catch them anyway. Speed makes them incredibly fast, but without speed, they're still faster than Zealots without speed and Dragoons. So you don't have to worry about getting caught out in the open. Observatory coming in because Dragoons with Singularity Charge and Observers are how you clear out these spider mine fields. And there's actually a Stargate coming in. That is a pretty fast... Are we just rushing for Arbiters? I think the last PvTI cast had that same thing going on. I'm pretty sure that is what we got. Fast Arbiter. So hey, recalls. Recalls on top of armies in the middle of the map can be good. Recalls in the Terran base can be good. Just depends what you're into. Recalls can be fine. I'm pretty sure... I don't think we're just going right for 2-base carrier. There's not enough resources really to support that. You want to take a 3rd base, which is exactly what these spider mines are trying to deny, or at the very least scout out. And remember what I said about dropping on this high ground? Yeah, it's a problem. It is a problem for Protoss. At least there's no siege tanks here, thank goodness. But he's just throwing up a bunker on this high ground. This is amazing. Stork can't see this, right? Stork doesn't know this is happening. It's very sneaky stuff. Oh, this is great. I'm loving this out of Sharp. Like, who needs giant tank armies when you can set up a bunker on your enemy's high ground? Weird maps create weird situations, man. Oh, look at the SCV repairing, too. Oh, the vultures sneak in. They've got their speed. They've got their spider mines. They're laying them all over the gosh darn place. And how many spider mines can you lay? It looks like pretty much a lot of them. Oh, gosh, big time hit. Dragoon too close to the probes. A lot of probes went down there, too. That hurts. Meanwhile, vultures are up here in the main base, too, forcing a full evacuation of the probes from that mineral line. Dragoons responding quite nicely. Should be able to clean it up. 3rd base coming in during all of this chaos for Stork. And is the dropship, like, going to be able to rescue anybody? I mean, you're empty, so you're here for a pickup mission, right? Except that you're totally dead now. So, cool. Look at this. Okay, so they found spots where they can attack this with high ground vision without getting attacked back. So, well done, Stork, figuring out how to handle this thing. Spider-Mine's just getting laid all over this 3rd Nexus that's warping in, and it looks like Sharp's going to try to go for his 3rd base. So, I mean, honestly, when I came into this game, I was expecting probably a Stork win. I just think Stork is a better player than Sharp. However, I like what Sharp is doing right now. I really do. He's not that far behind in economy just because Stork hasn't really been able to saturate his 3rd base or harvest from it at all. Man, 71 to 66 total supply. Sharp has a lead. It's 32 probes to 47 SCVs. Sharp has a better economy right now. And with the better economy comes better chances to win. Oh, this is ridiculous. Sharp is so aggressive. Sharp is taking the aggressive role today. He's really preventing Stork from holding that 3rd base. I mean, he's got it held, but he doesn't want to mine from it. It's such a dangerous position. I think maybe he might feel safe enough to transfer some probes, but jeez. Oh, he is carriering. Holy crap. He is going right for carriers. It's sub 10 minutes. Technically, he's got 3 bases, but I don't know that I feel good about this being counted as a 3rd base yet, based on the fact there are 2 probes here and nothing else going on. Ninja 3rd. Sharp's taking a Ninja 3rd. All right. All right. This game is bonkers. I like it a lot. So, Charon boosters and Goliaths coming in. He scouted the fleet beacon during one of his many attacks. He knows what's going on here. And Sharp recognizing there's not going to be much of a ground army because Stork is going so fast and heavy for carriers that the Vultures have some more opportunities to do stuff than they would have if there was a giant Dragoon Zealot army. Although, nicely done with the Dragoons there. Man, this... Spider-Mine's getting hits. The Vulture's got 3 kills. 4 kills, and maybe one more. No, not enough to get one more, but honestly, it's 39 probes for Stork at 10 minutes. He wants to be closer to 45, 50 for sure, because Sharp's at 52, and this third base is basically what the third base is for Stork. This does not bode well. However, this is a pretty good map for carriers, because maps that are good for carriers are maps where the carriers can fly over high ground things and hide on high ground places and get in spots where the Goliaths cannot follow because they're ground units. It's very annoying to play against. But I imagine that probably explains the quick carrier build by Stork here, is because this map has a lot of high ground, man. A lot of places you can hide, you can escape, you can attack from different locations. And as a result, you kind of bypass the tank problem to a certain extent. I mean, sure, it's a lot. It is a lot of tanks. But they're worthless. Their time is over. The time of the carrier is now. And actually, wow, carrier sniffed out Sharp's third base. All the carriers did, actually. Okay. That's going to be a bit of a problem for this third. This is a good match. This is some nice back and forth. In the first 10 minutes already. Dang. I'm not liking this. Alright. Tanks are firing. They got +1 attack because you're getting upgrades for the Goliaths anyway. This left side base is not being, like, defended at all. That's a lot of dead SCVs over there. Okay, like 5 or 6. But still, it's a good number of dead SCVs. Sharp continuing to push up, and he's completely shut down this base. He's got the high ground vision. The tank can hit... What? The range on this tank got like extra. What do I feel like this is longer than it should be? Either way, third base down, sucker. We're at 2 base versus 2 base right now at 12 minutes. Scraptastic PvT, ladies and gentlemen. Remember what I said about, I guess that, there you go. Remember what I said about siege tanks on this high ground and how it's a huge problem? Well, if you go carriers, it's less of a massive problem. But this is a problem. Dude, Sharp, I feel like Sharp is going for the kill here. I really do. Look at these tanks. They got 4 kills. They're all dead now, but they pulled the carriers home. And the third base for Stork is already dead, as I mentioned previously. I really don't know why you wouldn't just expand here. I guess you're worried about high ground carriers sitting up here and just murdering everything. Yeah, what a weird map. Super duper weird map today. Tripod. I like it. Honestly, more games on this map. I think last time I cast on this, we did talk about the... Actually, there used to be battle cruisers, NORAD 2s in here, but is this a different one? Am I remembering a different map, you guys? Maybe I am. This, I mean, maybe it's a different version where we just replaced all the NORAD 2s with side disruptors instead. So, the carriers are here. The Goliaths are not really in position to go for the bodies of the carriers directly. That guy was, but he's dead now. Carriers are just on a jaunt. Just very casually flying around, murdering things, killing the SCV, building this third base. Maybe getting some hits off on the command center, and then just retreating as necessary. Meanwhile, bit of a tank, Goliath, Vulture drop 1 of each here. Going after more of these probes, man. Stork's down to 29 probes. I really think Sharp's going to win this thing. Just for economic purposes, Stork has taken a ninja third here on the inside by mining through this mineral wall and getting on the inside there. I swear these were NORADs the last time I cast on this map. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I mean, if you're not hitting the bodies of the carriers, it's difficult. You can kill interceptors, yes. And if Stork doesn't have the mineral income to replace them, that's a win, but he does have the mineral income to replace them because he's on 3 bases. And despite all the probes that he's lost, his saturation is okay. He's got a couple idle workers here that need to go to work. Come on, Stork. Get those probes back in action, eh? Air weapons level something, level 2 coming in here. Nothing but the sound of Charon boosters in the morning. Beautiful sound. Goliath decided they want to kill these eggs. They need to be able to get through here faster. It's very annoying to go single file. Stork's expanding again. Okay. Well, I don't know. I am completely at a loss. I'm trying to predict who's going to win this thing. Which is good. It means it's a good game. Just 5 Goliaths at a time, and at some point, I feel like Sharp's going to show up just with a big Goliath army, and there's really not going to be much Stork can do to stop him in a defensive capacity. Like, they're better on offense because there is high ground, they can retreat as necessary, but if you're defending, like, this base or your natural, like, retreating isn't really an option. Oh, they got a carrier. Wow, okay. Yeah, I see this is going pretty well for Sharp. I've got to say, getting that carrier down, I feel like he's killing a lot of interceptors. 103 to 106 supply, even supply against a Protoss when you're Terran is pretty fantastic. Again, it's not tanks, it is Goliaths, but I feel like the principles are generally the same here. Retaking Ninja third as a 4th this time is Sharp. Very exciting stuff. Okay. Alright, just trying to hold on to the sneaky 4th base down here. Are there enough Dragoons? There's like 3 Dragoons, man, but the carriers were in the general neighborhood, and that should be able to shut this down. Dropships, you're not escaping. Get on out of here. These carriers actually in a different position altogether. He split up his carriers into multi-pronged attacks. I like it. Alright, so back down to 3 bases. I'm not entirely sure if Sharp knows this exists. He should. I mean, he should have some kind of vision on it, but the fact that he doesn't is a massive boon to Stork, but still, you're technically on 4 base, especially with... Okay, there's not much gas here, but the gas at the 3rd, or the natural base is happening. 110 to 113 supply. We've got tanks, we've got the Goliaths. They're 2-1 upgrades. Tanks sieging up, carriers over this way, over towards Sharp's base, and there's not really much by way of defense. Most of Sharp's army is down here. This is getting a little bit dicey for both players right now. I mean, I know you want to kill this base, but, like, also having defense is nice. Oh, yes. Focus the tanks. Get those tanks out of here. Fewer tanks, the better. Guess who unloaded on Stork's 3rd base, though? This is really bad for Stork all of a sudden. But he's got carriers virtually unopposed at Sharp's side of the map, so what is even going to happen here? Oh, yeah. So Stork going to lose basically his 2 sources of income. His natural base is all he's got left, which is not much. But there's nothing stopping these carriers from killing all of his stuff. He does have this income, which is nice, which means he has income, and Stork does not have income. And generally, not having income means you're done. And okay, that's the other problem with carriers is they require a steady source of income because you need to replace interceptors as they die. That said, if they're unopposed and nothing is killing said interceptors, then guess what? They don't care. They don't care at this point. Which is incredible. Like, you gotta come kill some interceptors. I don't know that you needed to bring the whole army over here to kill this base, but it's easy pickings and it makes you feel good to blow stuff up, so Fair. I mean, he's on top of Sharp's production. His factories are all dead. It's going to come down to some kind of giant finale engagement, but this is such a weird place to be. I'm telling you, it's a strange place to be. I like that he's killing all of the, oh, that's a free Wraith, though. Why would you, has that Wraith been out the whole time? Why would you make a single Wraith? Seems like a bad idea, honestly. Like, I've seen people suggest a lot of Wraiths against these carriers. Yeah, I get it. The pros don't ever do it, though. It's always Goliaths. In fastest maps, sometimes we do see Mass Wraith trying to pick off carriers. It is pretty cool, admittedly. But never in 1v1. Stork is long distance mining from this third base that he kind of had for 2 minutes. And Sharp's going to lose his last source of income. Dude, this game, though, this is coming down to it all of a sudden. Like, it's long distance mining that exists for Stork, but Sharp has no mining at all. He doesn't have any command centers left. But he has a bank, but Stork doesn't. This is crazy. And that's it, man. Sharp decides he's done. And Stork is your winner. In 21 minutes and 21 seconds, in a situation where he doesn't have a mining base. Stork won this thing through the power of exactly 10 carriers with +2 attack, no bases, 23 probes that are long-distance mining. It bums me out that Sharp wouldn't just go for it. Like, he can crush this. He can start killing buildings, right? Yeah, that was premature. What's with the premature GGs? It hurts me. It hurts me when there's premature GGs. I don't like it at all. Man alive. Okay, well, yeah. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, right? Look at this. This is a whole bunch. I think they had 3 attack and 2 armor by this point, but you put the tanks on this low ground, bring a Goliath up the ramp, you kill these 4 Goliaths easily. You wander up here, you kill everything, you stop this mining. Stork has no income. He can't replace interceptors as they die. And you have enough carriers that even if Stork's control of the carriers is perfect, you're still killing interceptors. And then suddenly it's a huge problem for Stork as the interceptor supply depletes, he can't replace them, and then he has dead weight in the form of the carriers. And this is it, man. This is, as far as base race is concerned, this is it. Everything Stork has is here. I mean, you get up on this high ground, you start killing stuff with your mech. Goliath DPS is nuts. I mean, ground, right? 12 with the upgrades. Siege tank damage against buildings is really good, too. You had a bunch of buildings left in different places. If Stork wants to base race, fine. But if Stork wants to try to defend his stuff, I'm not sure that he could very well. Okay, I get it. Stork won, but a bit of an unfulfilling ending. Personally. 106,000 there for Sharp, 130,000 for Stork. Ended up producing, killing, and losing virtually the same number of units, which doesn't usually bode well for the Protoss, but hey. Forced carriers made it happen, changed the game. Bunch of buildings killed on both sides. I mean, Sharp did lose 50 buildings in all fairness. That's a lot of structures. And then Sharp actually outmined both minerals and gas and outspent the Protoss by 2,000, which isn't supposed to happen in a TVP where you lose. Man, amazing. All right, well, that's it, I guess. I am, again, flummoxed at the end. I do feel like it was a premature leave, which happens from time to time. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm right about that. We can discuss it. Maybe I'm completely wrong and out of my mind, but I don't think I am. But for now, that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.